All right. Huh. I've been on the floor. I'm getting old. I've been on the floor for only about like 20, by the timer that I've got here on my phone, 25 minutes, and my lower back kills. But we're going to keep going. Where we left off there yesterday, I was talking about some hand spun from Simone, which I will probably find more in here, and I'll talk about it. But let's get through here, because I guess I'm supposed to be like deciding what I'm going to be keeping, but so far everything except maybe some of the balls in here, it's all in the keep category. So I think I might have to be a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? I should probably be a little bit more Mary Kondo, does this spark joy? But the problem with that is that all yarn sparks joy. It doesn't really work. So this is a bag of some fun stuff. So I've got all kinds of stuff in here. So this first one that I pulled out this is a single ply Briggs and Little yarn that we dyed at Belfast. So there, I want to say in 2021, we decided to expand our Briggs and Little section a little bit to lean in more on hand painted yarn, because they had started to sell really well in the store. So we ended up buying a bunch of Briggs and Little, like soft spun, and then the sport weight stuff that's a single ply, because Simone made a sweater out of it using Lichen and Lace's version of this, which is a hand dyed Lichen and Lace. They dye this sport weight yarn and sell it as a sport weight. I think they might even sell it. This is on the cusp of a fingering sport. But I'm going to continue calling it sport because that's what Briggs and Little calls it. But anyway, so Simone made a really beautiful sweater, which name escapes me. If I remember to ask her before I have to upload this, I will put it on the screen. If not, whoops. Anyway, so we decided to buy some of this and like just dye it and then resell it. So I picked up a ball of this before and I started a hat with it. But when I started the hat with it, I didn't want to make a hat. So then I just balled it back up and it's just kind of sat and languished in here for a while. I also have a few things. So I got a bunch of like little things. So this is like a collection of items that I got from different spaces. So this is these two are Nerds with Needles. Both are fingering weight yarns. And I'm pretty sure I bought both of these at HalCon there in 2022 because I wanted to buy a sock yarn. I paced myself. I forced myself to try to go out of my comfort zone. So I only bought one ball of sock yarn and I bought colors that I wouldn't normally buy. So I have a hate on for gray. You might have picked up on that, but like whenever someone's like, oh, what color should I make this sweater? I will never say gray because everybody does gray. It's a really safe color. Everybody does blue. It's a really safe color. And you know, there's a place and time for a blue shirt, a gray sweater, whatever. I've got a couple gray sweaters. I don't dislike them overall. Just the way that I look at it is that if you are going to spend hours and hours and hours and hours putting together their product, make it exciting. So like it doesn't necessarily have to be a beautifully hand-painted yarn like this one, which again is Hippogriff by Nerds and Needles in their sock base. The merino sock base, I'm pretty sure. Yep, superwash merino sock base. But if you're going to make a gray sweater, don't make a plain one. Because like anybody can do that. Everybody can do that. Machines can do that in their sleep. If you're going to spend the time hand knitting, like I don't want this to come off as a criticism for people who just want to like do simple knitting that is easy and is fulfilling as a like you do you, boo boo, you do you. It's just the way that I look at it is that if I can't make it a showstopper, I get bored with it. Which is part of the problem that I have with most of my knitting right now is that all the projects that I want to take on are all really big projects or really hard projects. Anyway, I might cut all of that out. Just getting readjusted here because that was really hard on my lower back. Anyway, so I bought these two balls. This is Nerds with Needles. I'll put the tags up. The skeins have gotten a little messy, but Nerds with Needles. I bought this at HalCon there in 2022 when I went there with my friends. And my thought process for buying this yarn is not that I had projects in mind, because I didn't, and I still don't. But what I was trying to do with that purchase was to limit myself to 4 balls of yarn, come up, like, buy yarn that I knew that I could find a project for, number 2, and number 3, buy yarn that was not in my comfort zone. Okay. If you've been a follower for me for a while, you know that fingering weight yarns is my favorite, and these are not a great example of me going outside my comfort zone. But fingering weight's my favorite kind of yarn, or my favorite weight of yarn, and most of my yarn that I have is fingering weight. I'm a huge fan of sock yarn, and I'm a huge fan of cool colors. So what I did at that time was I bought 4 balls of yarn. One of them is actually in here. This one. Oh, no. That one. So this one is one of them. This is Dragon Scale. This is their DK worsted weight blue. I don't like, well, I mean, I shouldn't say I don't like worsted weights. I don't knit with worsted weights very often. And this was a project that I started and stopped several times, and I ended up using in my knitting machine. But it's beautifully dyed wool, and it came out so neat. Like, the stripes are accidental, but like it turned out really cool. So there's that one. I also got a bulky, which I know I corrected myself when I said I disliked worsted. I really don't like bulky. Like, lots of people love it. Not for me. We'll just leave it at that. So I bought a bulky in browns. In fact, I bought it specifically to make something for Jess for Christmas. So I made her a cowl for Christmas. And then the other things that I bought was a fingering weight yarn in colors that I like, but there's stellina in this. I don't think you can see it. I don't know if it's going to show, but there's stellina in this. Yeah, sparkling stellina. And I don't like sparkle in my yarn because it sheds and then you get glitter everywhere. I can see where I can pull it out, and I have not done any projects with it. Any suggestions would be great. And this is Hippogriff. This is sock base, and this is not a colorway that I would normally go with. I don't like buying gray yarn for the sake of buying gray yarn. Like, whenever someone wants to find a safe color and they pick gray, I always try to, like, lean them away from gray, because everybody has a gray sweater. Everybody has gray socks. I'm currently wearing gray socks. I can't lift my leg that high. But yeah, so I bought this because I don't normally buy gray stuff. But then after coming home, I realized I have a pair of gray, green, and purple socks. So it wasn't, I didn't actually go out too far. I didn't go too far out of my comfort zone. So this is just superwash nylon. So I've got a couple others in here. I've got a skein of Lichen and Lace sock yarn. I signed up for her Sock of the Month subscription for 3 months there last year, and that's where I got the pumpkin colored sock to do my Freddie Beach socks from last year. I have a ball of pine. And I also have a ball of this. And I have another ball of really beautiful autumn colors somewhere. Somewhere in that bedroom. We'll get to that later. So I'm going to do socks with this, obviously. And then I have a couple of skeins of silk. So this is leftover silk from my store. Both of these are lace weights. So there's 800 yards in each of these. And I had 2 of these. When I bought the fiber, I had 2 of these, of each of these. Do I have a fuzzy on my beard? No, that's just my beard. Okay, I had 2 of each of these, and I ended up using them both to make a scarf and handkerchief for my friends Brandon and Kate Kelly when they got married as a wedding gift. So I made her a scarf using these 2 colors, and it had a picot edge. I put gold beads in it because her colors were silver, burgundy, and gold. And then I did a handkerchief that was burgundy and gold, like a plaid one, where I held it double to make the thing. I ended up using a bunch of these things to make it work. So these are bobbins that you can put your yarn on, so that way if you are doing color work, you can like mix them around so that way it stays clean and they stack and clip together. So I've got a bunch of those. Yeah. And then I got a ball of Belfast mini meal stuff. But I'll talk about the Belfast mini meal stuff all at the same time, because like, I mean, that's a pair of socks. That's a pair of socks. Belfast mini meals. This is a ball of Red Island fiber that I had purchased from Amanda there, and it's got glitter on it because it was in the bag with the glitter. And this is the fingering weight eco processed merino that she has available. So if you saw my Instagram post there a couple days ago, last week at this point, you'll know that I'm going to be doing a pattern. I'm making a new project out of that, and I'm going to be working on a new pattern for her yarn as part of a like yarn kit thing here potentially. So I'm going to make the project, and then if she likes it, I'll let her have vetoing power there. But she was gracious enough to give me that yarn to make that, so it's basically a go. But this is a ball of the eco-friendly eco-friendly fingering weight yarn that I am going to make socks out of. There is no nylon in this. There's no silk in this. There's nothing, or no mohair. There's nothing in here that's going to strengthen it. And I know that that's going to cause issues with holes later. But as discussed later, I want to use my darning egg that's up here. And I'm going to make a pair of socks where I save some of this so that way I can actually do some darning with it later. Yeah. So I've got so much more in here. This is that ball of Diana that I was going to make my Entwine Queen shawl out of, that I never did. It's Malibu Ghost sock, again, 100% merino. There's no nylon in this, so it's not ideal for socks, honestly. But that's what this is. So I might make a pair of socks out of that. This was something that I purchased there. I got this at the Loop. I got this at the Loop on an old episode that has since been removed. I did a yarn haul video where I went and did like a little tour of Nova Scotia there in 2021. In 2021, or was it 2022? I think it's 2022. I went around 2022. It was after, yeah, I think it was 2022, because like I didn't need to have like my vaccination records in order for me to leave the island, and all of that. Like, I mean, I'm vaccinated and I have multiple vaccinations, but I didn't need to like get permission to leave the island. I could just leave if I wanted to. So I went on a little like excursion there, and I went to a few different spots, including the Loop in Halifax, H&K yarns. I'll put it on the screen if it's not H&K. There in the Hydrostone. I also went to Wool and Tart, which is where I bought the Diana. And that's in Wolfville. I went to Gaspar Valley Fibers, where this hat that I made, this one out of the Cotswold, and I got a couple balls of that. We'll talk about that later when I get to it. Yeah, so I ended up buying this at the Loop because it's just a really cute set. So it's 125 grams of a fingering weight yarn. This is nylon and cotton. And my plan was to do something with them. And I just never got around to it. Just never got around to it. So I'm just going to dig through this so I can pull out all of the Belfast Mini Mills sock yarn that I've got here. Because like, I bought it all at the same time for the same reason. I think this is Mary Maxim. This I received as part of I think I received this as part of a Christmas gift, or this might have been part of the White Elephant gift exchange that we did. But regardless, this was from Susie Bureau, one of my friends that came to knit day at the store on Wednesdays, and she is a wonderful weaver and a beautiful, she's a beautiful person, but a wonderful weaver. She's an artist. She does a lot of watercolor, and I think she does some other mediums as well. But she brought this. I can't remember if she brought this for the White Elephant gift exchange or she just gave it to me. This is a sock wool. It's I don't know if it's superwash wool, but it's wool. It's nylon in it. It's a sock wool. I have plans to make socks out of this. So this is I bought this ages ago. This is the rainbow sock kit from Fleece and Harmony. So this was I bought this at the time where it was like super popular here about a year and a half ago. And my plan was to make something for Pride, obviously. And I was going to make something for Pride, and then I was going to yeah, I was just gonna have fun with it. I really wanted it. Like, I don't know why I don't know why I'm trying to justify it. I just really wanted this yarn. So I bought it, and now I haven't been using it because at the time I'm pretty sure I was working on a pair of socks of the point prim. This is the point prim sock base. And I'm pretty sure I was working on my red point prim sock in the color. No, not Vineyard. I can't remember what color it is. It's not this red. It's the more purpley one. But anyway, so I didn't start this right away, and then I put this in my bin, and then it just kind of sat in my bin. But I have a plan for this now. I know that the ladies at Fleece and Harmony have said that they are going to be doing or they potentially will do a sock cowl once the Marie Wallen cowl that they're working on now, or make along technically, the make along that they're doing has elapsed that they're taking part in, and they might do a sock cowl. So if that does become a reality, I'm going to take part in that, and I'm going to use this and make the craziest socks you ever did see. So I have a plan for that. All right. So now that I'm looking at the timer, it looks like we are done for another day. And I'll see you tomorrow.